Let's rock.
Good morning, ladies and shitters.
Boys and cootie loving girls. Welcome back to
Nerd shit in the
Dark. And we are your hosts.
I am Brad and the Brad and and who are you?
I'm Chase the Chaz Screepeck, and we're delighted to be back for another episode of Nerd Shit in the Dark. We got a big one today.
Oh, boy, we do.
We got a big one today for a couple reasons. Boom.
Explain it.
I will explain it, because I don't even know if you know this part, Braden. But you're in the dark about this a little bit. This episode, it's going live on, say it with me, the 4th of July.
4th of July.
This is an America's birthday episode, but it's also today, actually. So the episode goes live on the 4th. We're recording on the 29th. It is Momager Miranda's birthday today. So not only are we celebrating this episode for America, but also for Momager. How we doing? Good. She gave us a thumbs up. She'll be coming in a little later to give some thoughts on something we're talking about here tonight, and I'm super excited. Also, to celebrate, Momager Miranda has picked out our In the Dark movie for tonight's episode. So Braden and I, no idea.
We are pumped.
We're pretty excited to see what it is.
We're both in the dark. We have no idea what we're going to see.
No idea.
But we are full torque, ready to dive into it.
Full torque.
No matter what.
Yeah. It's almost so full torque I got to go to the hospital to have somebody check it out to make sure everything's okay.
If you're at full torque longer than 4 hours, you got to go to the emergency room.
And that's how I feel about the excitement I have to see Miranda's In the Dark movie for her birthday.
Hell yeah. Let's hope this movie's not 4 hours.
Or I'm going to the hospital tonight.
Hell yeah. We got to do what we got to do.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
So, yeah, two big birthdays coming up. Our Pakistani viewers probably don't care that it's America's birthday.
And why would they?
And that's fine. I don't expect you to. But for us here in America, which is where Braden and I are from,
it's our birthday.
It's our country's birthday. So
which is kind of our birthday.
It's kind of our birthday.
We're all like the children.
We're the children
of
our
America. Country. Yeah. We're the kids of America.
The future.
Whoa.
But we're also the good kids.
The great kids of America.
Good kids of America. We don't do like bad things.
No, never.
Like tick checks. No, don't worry about tick checks.
Don't worry about tick checks. But check yourself for
what's
ticks.
Going on, man? It's good to see you.
It's good seeing you.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah. When was the last time we saw each other?
I think the last time we did this show. My birthday, when you recorded with me on my birthday.
That is correct.
So you've made it here for both of the Screepeck household birthdays. You just got to make it for Sora's and you'll get the entire trilogy.
I'll get to punch in my card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've been pretty good.
Good.
My birthday's it's kind of funny. We all have summer birthdays.
Yeah. Yours a little later in the summer, but yeah, it is.
It's like almost not even a summer birthday.
It's August.
August, yeah.
Technically, mine's not a summer birthday either, because it's June 18th and summer doesn't kick off till usually the 21st. This year, the 20th.
That's right, but I feel like colloquially we always just refer to June as summer.
As soon as the kids get out for summer, it's fucking summer.
Yeah.
They don't get out for late spring.
We don't follow the phases of the earth.
Yeah, and the moon and the stars in the sky.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Moon's not even real.
Like we said, we're American. Did you see the debate? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Let's dive right into this, guys.
I saw clips from it.
I certainly did.
Looked dreadful. Looked like a fucking mess.
Yeah, I have no comment there.
No comment there. Okay. Good. So, I'm doing well.
I'm doing good,
You had masked, but I'll just let you know.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
That's
as
good.
I already said. I'm doing well.
I didn't care.
I didn't think you did. I didn't think you did. It felt like you did. So.
No, I do care. I'm glad that you're doing well.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
It's good to see you. You're looking good. You're looking fit.
Your birthday's coming up. What?
You're looking hot.
No, I don't. Absolutely do not. Don't even fucking lie to me, man. I'm the worst shape that I've been in a very long time. I need to get it together.
Yeah.
But thank you. I ran into a friend of mine from like elementary school yesterday, and he told me I looked good, and I was just like, I don't think I do, man, but thank you. I didn't say that. I just went, thanks, man, you too, because it's a kid that we went to high school, but I went to elementary school with him. Nice guy. Haven't seen him in a while.
Known him your whole life?
Basically, but I mean, a whole adulthood, I haven't seen him.
Yeah. I know a lot of people like that. Anyways, shitters.
Yeah. We got our segments to hop into tonight.
Yeah.
Because Miranda needs to eat some cake for her birthday, so we gotta get through our subjects. Not super fast, but we gotta get going. We don't got time.
We got to turbocharge.
It's already been almost 7 minutes. So, new nerd shit.
New nerd shit. All right, so Chase, what's your new nerd shit?
So my first new nerd shit is I played 3 video games. They're really all tied into like one video game, but I played through 3 video games this week. This week.
You've been busy.
Sort of. They're shorter games. Have you ever played the Shovel Knight games?
I've heard of them, but no, I've never
Shovel
played
Knight
them.
Games?
It's like a 2D.
It's like a
shovel
NES
things.
graphic.
You can like go into different areas by shoveling.
You fight with your shovel, and you can like go down into areas. So it's
I've
essentially
seen
like a
pictures.
Nintendo styled, but made in like 2014 platformer, kind of like Mega Man type of game.
Yeah.
And I played 3. There's a bunch of them, like offshoots of the main one.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to another podcast and they had brought up Shovel Knight, and I was like, I downloaded like a Shovel Knight game when I got my Switch. Like I should go back and play. I thought I had the actual game, like the Shovel Knight game. I had like
What do you mean the Shovel Knight game?
Like there's Shovel Knight, like there's the main game Shovel Knight. I think there's like Shovel of Hope or Shovel of Faith is the name.
Uh-huh.
But they made like
A lot of spin-offs.
spin-off DLC kind of where you
Sequels?
play as like one's definitely a prequel. I have no idea where the one I'm playing now is in the timeline.
Does it matter? Is the story a big element to it, or
There's a story. It has a fun little story, but like it's not a big, like the fact that I played the prequel first and then played the actual game, because the one I had on my Switch was this one of the prequels where you play as like a scythe wielding one of the villains from the first game.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't really know that because that's the one I started with. So I
Right.
played through that first.
So you're coming at this with different context from the
Probably, yeah.
From
that's
most
certainly
people,
from
probably.
release.
Yeah.
So I played that one first. I beat it in the day I started it. So they're not super long games.
Okay.
It probably took me about 4 or 5 hours on my Switch, off and on throughout that day.
That's a breezy game.
It's a fun game. So it's like I said, they're side-scrolling platformers. And in the prequel one, I should have remembered their names for this. I'm sorry, but you play as like he wields a scythe, so he has a certain gameplay style. The cool thing I like about each of these games is it's platforming, side-scroller, but the gameplay style is different for each character. So the scythe guy he has this ability to shoot off of things with his scythe
Oh, that's
for
cool.
like movement. So you're kind of like always ricocheting off of shit if you want to, which I thought was pretty cool. And it's not a shovel. So I think that's probably why I downloaded it when I did. I was like,
You
Scythe's cooler
downloaded
than a
Scythe Knight.
Yeah, I totally did. So you play and you get like the backstory to the main game, but it's the only thing I ever knew. So that's how I took on the story, is I like found out how like the villains came to be, the villains that are in the actual game.
Right.
So that was really fun. I had a great time playing that. So then I downloaded, I was like, you can buy the whole collection for like $20 on the Switch store. So I did that.
How many games is that?
I think it's like 4 actual games, like side-scrolling platformers, and then there's like 2 like spin-off games.
Okay.
I don't even know what you do in those ones. I haven't played them
Are
yet.
they like different studios, or is it
No,
just,
same studio made all these games.
it's just like a different story? And
different story in each
style?
one. Different
Yeah.
story in each one, and just different gameplay style because the character just plays differently. So when you play as normal Shovel Knight, it's you're this little blue knight with a shovel, and you can like hit enemies with your shovel, and you can also dig up like areas like of dirt and shit to get
Yeah.
through like stages with your shovel.
I've seen that part of
There's
Shovel
a cool
Knight.
like down move where like you when you jump you aim down and he like spikes the shovel into the ground, and that's how you can bounce off of shit. So the platforming on these games are so fucking fun because it's like it's challenging but almost always fair.
Yeah.
Like
And
there's some
entertaining.
bullshit but fair. You can get angry but not you feel more successful when you've passed a level.
Right.
And
it just motivates you more rather than what making you want to quit.
yes. And that's why I stormed through these games, because I think I started the actual Shovel Knight last Saturday, and then I had beaten it by Monday morning, just playing
Wow.
it off and on. That was probably a little longer than the prequel game, but like still so fun. The boss fights are fun. So the idea is like when you dig shit up, you get like treasure that is your money, your currency. And you can use that currency to go to like the one town and buy like upgrades for your shovel, upgrades for your armor, upgrade new abilities. And you not only have the shovel, you also earn like, I don't know what they're called, just abilities throughout the game that you can switch between, like items, I guess they are, where like you can throw your fire stick at people too, or like, and you have like a kind of like a mana system where like you have so much of that, and if that's gone, you can't use your special abilities anymore.
Right.
Each of the games has that feature as well, but they're also utilized differently in each one. It's crazy. I digress. Really high, if you can't tell everybody. I feel like I'm all over the place with this.
No, you're explaining it well,
sorry.
I thought.
Yeah, just dope. Just dope first game. And when I just played those two, I didn't know which one I liked more. The actual Shovel Knight game, way more challenging. Like the boss fights were actually... With the Scythe one, I just felt like as long as I had enough health, I could just fucking tear.
I was
going to
say, is the Scythe more, I'm assuming, stronger than the shovel?
I mean, it essentially does the same thing. Like for instance, the first boss you fight in the actual Shovel Knight game, like the first main boss, is the guy you play as. Like, so the guy I played as in the whole other game that I played before.
Oh, wow.
And he was flying around. He was doing all this crazy shit that I was like, why the fuck couldn't I do that when I was playing as him? Because he was first boss, man, kicking my ass. I was like, I can't. And the whole prequel.
Now, could you realistically do that if you were good at the game, or
no? I mean, you would get like items, like I said, that could make you do like things for like a second that were like similar, but not like how this boss fight was.
So it was like
going.
The game was buffing him a lot.
It was, and that's what I liked about Shovel Knight entire. Like you fight all the same bosses. That's the thing about the game is other than the third one where you play as King Knight. So all the characters like a type of knight.
Yeah,
and that's their like thing. You fight all the same bosses.
Right.
In at least the other two. So like when I went through Shovel Knight, I was like, oh wow, this is way fucking harder than these bosses were in the last game.
So it's kind of like a Link Ganondorf situation.
Sort of, kinda, because like you fight all these guys throughout the first game, Shovel Knight. So when you play the prequel, what your character is doing, because it's a prequel, is collecting those bosses to fight in the next game. But you collect them by like convincing them to join your side by fighting them
and beating them.
Right. So it was cool going into Shovel Knight, like the actual Shovel Knight game, and be like, okay, I know all these bosses. They are harder, but I know how they play, so I can figure it out.
Right.
So that's one of the things. But like I said, you gain the money, you can upgrade your shit. There's also like, every game has a type of medal system where if you do like an extra hard platforming thing to like get to an item, there's a currency for that, so you can use those to buy like even different kinds of special abilities.
Oh.
Like I think in the one you could use that money to get a better shovel ability or like new armor abilities. So that would be really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then the one I'm playing now that I'm working my way through, it's the third one. I'm almost done with it. It's you play as this character, King Knight, who is a knight who dresses and acts like a king. And
does he have a shovel, or is he a sword guy?
So his ability, his gameplay style is the most different than everybody else's. He does this like dash thing, so you have to dash off bad. All the bad guys, like all the villains throughout the game, are the same through like Goombas and shit, but like their version, it's they're all the same. But the way you fight them is different. So when he hits something, he then can. He like bounces in the air and turns into a top, so you can like hit off of things like that. So that's his thing. Interesting. Very different than the other ones. And when I saw the preview for it, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this gameplay style. I do. And this third one, it's like where the other two are kind of the same level wise. This one has its own level system. They're shorter levels, but the way you have to platform through them is different because his abilities are different.
That's the most recent one?
It's
the most modern one?
It's the most recent one that I'm playing.
Right.
I think they all came out very close to each other, but there's a collection of them on the Switch now. But yeah, I thought I was going to hit, and there's like a card game too in the third one. Like your goal in that one is to become like the king of the cards, and there's this weird little card game that you play. You don't have to really play it if you don't want to. I've only played it a couple times.
Right.
You can just skip one of those levels.
Bullshit mini games
but
you can skip.
There, yeah. Because it's the character's goal is to be the king of that. So like, and it's interesting. It's like cards have different arrows, and like they have to knock each other off the board and get a certain amount of gems. It's not a crazy hard game. It's not one I want to play either though. So I try to skip it, but that's the goal. So that's there too. But the platforming is and the bosses in that one have also been different. So that's been cool. Right. So, yeah. Solid.
Well, you've convinced me. If it's only $20 for like the whole package
like
on
the
Steam,
whole package deal.
I've been looking at the Steam store.
It's definitely on the Steam sale for sure.
Yeah.
I got it on Switch, but I'd recommend it because like they're light, they're fun. Like I've been playing through this third one kind of casually, more casually than I played the other ones. I just pick it up, play for like 20 minutes, beat a couple levels, put it down.
Yeah. So it is like a level system.
Yeah, there's like a world. What I would recommend is to not play it like me. Play Shovel Knight because they have like a little kind of fun, like Mario world map where you just
start with the original Shovel Knight.
Start with the main one, then go back to the prequel. I would recommend. As someone who did the opposite, That's how
That's
I
probably
do.
the way
the
you're
scythe
supposed
guy,
to do
I
it,
think
yeah.
would be more cool to somebody who just played the whole last game just with like the shovel.
Because you kind of understand the context more.
Sure, yeah, and you kind of understand how to play the villains, like how to work the stages through the bad guys. Because every like
'Cause
bad
you've had to
guy,
fight them before.
right. So when I played Shovel Knight, I was like, oh yeah, I know how to engage this like stage because it's kind of similar to that stage I had with the scythe guy.
Right.
But it's still different. Every game, I will say this,
Interesting.
has their own differences.
I'm definitely going to check it out on the Nintendo store on my Switch because I've been playing my Switch a lot recently.
Yeah, check it out. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's been a fun week. I didn't think I was going to sink a lot of time into these games, and I ended up playing them quite a lot all week, and I love them.
Right.
As like for what they are, it's like a 10 out of 10, platformer.
Yeah, and they sound like not a huge time sink, so
Not a huge time sink at all. And not a big frustrator either.
good.
You just get motivated. So, yeah, that's my first new nerd shit. That's what I spent this week doing. I probably garbled the whole explanation of that all over the place, and I'm sorry about that, shitters.
It was good.
But that's what I
What
got.
are we going to do?
Fight me?
Yeah,
I doubt it.
I could fight you right here.
Oh, you? I thought we meant the shitters.
Oh. I thought you were telling me to fight you.
No, don't fight me. Not right now.
I don't want to fight you.
Thank you. I don't want to fight you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What's up with you? What's new?
So like I said, I've been playing my Switch recently,
You did say that.
and
Fuck.
I was scrolling on the Nintendo eShop and found Green Hell for like $4. It was on sale.
Green Hell.
Yes. Have you ever heard anything about Green Hell?
No.
So yeah, I was looking at
I've only heard about normal hell.
yeah, I was looking at some survival games, and that was one that always popped up, but I never got it on Steam or anything like that. But then seeing it for $4 on the Switch shop, I was like, why not?
Yeah.
Because it was like originally $20, I think.
Yeah, Switch has some pretty good sales. Not
Yeah.
like Steam does, but Switch certainly.
Yeah, so Green Hell is a survival game that takes place in the Amazon, where your main character,
Like Morbius.
exactly like Morbius.
Oh my god.
Not actually.
And Madam Web.
Combined, yeah.
Oh my god.
You do have to watch out for spiders.
That's how you got into this game. You've watched both of those fucking
yeah, I
movies
was just
and you're
like,
like,
I'm
I
on
need
an
something
Amazon kick right now.
I think I might be part Amazonian, actually. I think on my mom's side.
Probably deep down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So anyways, it takes place in the Amazon where you have to survive in the woods while having to deal with all kinds of shit that wants to kill you.
You love Survivor games.
I do love
You
survival
play a
games.
lot of them.
Yeah, and this is one of the hardest ones I've played so far. But it was also the most rewarding once you learned it, because that's like the aspect of a good survival game is you have to like play with your environment and figure out how to live, and you're likely going to die a few times before you figure it out.
Sure.
And I did die a lot in the beginning. So there's two modes that you can do. You can do straight survival, which is just see how many days you can survive in the rainforest, or you can do the story mode, which I started with. And the story was surprisingly really good, but also when you line it up together, it's actually super short.
Have you played through the whole story?
Oh yeah.
And now you're on the survival mode.
So the story story
story's
mode
there to teach you.
is there to teach you pretty much what to do, but it's actually a really good story. It was like very interesting. It's short, but it's fascinating to play through. And like I thought I was about halfway through the story until I actually realized it was the end.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's a very short game. Like people have speed run it in 20 minutes.
Like hours-wise, how'd you do?
I probably sunk about 10 to 15 hours into this
the
game.
story?
For the story.
Okay.
And that was just like playing on and off
Okay.
throughout the week.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the biggest challenge is finding out where to go, because it doesn't tell you pretty much anything. Like you have a notebook where you write notes down, and like as you discover more things throughout the forest of how to craft certain items, because you have to like play around with that to like find new recipes. Notes will be added over time to tell you how to do shit. It has an RPG aspect where like your character has to develop these skills to get better at all these things, and the entire time you're having to eat and drink and watch out for predators and make sure that you're not sick.
What kind of predators?
So far I've run into
Like child molesters?
no, well,
Oh.
there are humans,
Oh,
but
God. Okay.
I don't believe they're child molesters, but they are predators.
So they might be.
Yeah, but your goal, you start off like sucking and dying a lot, but your goal is to become one with the jungle and become the predator.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. But it's scary. So like You're constantly having to.
That's life.
Yeah, you're constantly getting like diseases and like hunger and rashes or getting lacerations from falling down and shit.
That's life.
Yeah. And
That's life.
and if you don't have like the proper medicines around, you'll just die. And like when something goes wrong, it usually just leads to a bunch of other things going wrong. One time I was like having a hard time keeping up with food because you have to balance between proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, and different foods give you different things. So like if you have like high fats but like low protein and low carbs, your energy will start to run out really quick.
That's where I'm at right now in my life, honestly.
It, like each combination.
This game's a little too real, dude.
It is. It's very. It's like it tries to be pretty realistic.
Makes me feel
of,
bad
like,
about myself.
how you could live here because you have to just live with whatever you find in the environment. And so like it's really tough getting going, especially when like you're told very little of what to do. Like it's just like simple objectives like find your wife. So
That is not as simple as you think.
yeah, like the main story follows this doctor who went into the Amazon and yeah, he's a doctor. Dr. Higgins, his name is.
Oh, okay.
He went into the Amazon and contacted this previously uncontacted tribe in the Amazon. And they were like really friendly. And his wife, Mia, is like learned their language and is like the interpreter. So like they go out to like this rainforest to communicate with the tribe. We're not told why they're there in the first place, just that like they need to contact this tribe, and then you have to start piecing together the story as things go on.
A mystery.
Yeah, but basically you're out there. It says like 30 days have passed with your wife like in the tribe talking to them while like you're staying back because for whatever reason your character's not allowed to go to them, like they don't want him there. And then you get a phone call from your wife saying like I need you here right now. And so a bunch of stuff happens, like flashes happen, and then we see him running through the woods, and then he like falls down a ravine and like wakes up with amnesia and like forgets
Oh, God.
the past few days.
What a bad time to get amnesia.
Yeah, so he like has to find his wife. He has to like survive in the rainforest while being lost and not having anything on him. Now you eventually can find maps and like remnants of other campsites or like other illegal shit that people were doing in the rainforest, but they're all usually abandoned. And he also starts to find that there's a hostile tribe out there that paint their faces red, and if they see you, they'll attack you. And so
Do you gotta kill some of these motherfuckers?
you do, yeah.
Nice.
And it's
Now
very
you got me.
and it's very scary. It's kind of a horror game. Well, it pretty much is a horror survival game.
Yeah.
Because they can come at any moment and you won't know because they can like blend in really well.
Yeah.
You have to like rely on the sounds of the forest and figure out
Good
what they
game
all
with
mean.
headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the ambiance of the forest is very integral to the game because it makes you hear certain animals, certain threats.
I like games like that.
Yeah, so like and there's also like benign noises. Like there's a howler monkey noise that goes off all the time and it's scary, but there's no howler monkeys in the game. So there's just like fake noises along with real noises of predators that you have to recognize.
It's kind of like right now on our podcast, right? We got the chirpers in the background going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like everything's overgrown, so like you can't always see things. Like leopards can blend in, anacondas can
What
blend
kind
in.
of weapons are you giving to fight these people and leopards?
You have to craft your own weapons, so you can figure out if you get the right combinations from resources you find in the environment, how to craft certain weapons, but you have to play around with it. It doesn't tell you crafting recipes until after you've already successfully crafted a thing,
Aye.
and then it records it. So like you just have to like oh, I find I can make ropes from vines, and I'll take a long stick and see if I combine the rope and the stick, and oh, it's a bow. And then you get the bow recipe, and you get the arrows recipe. So
Jesus.
like, yeah, bow and arrows, spears, knives, axes, all that. Like, there's a big crafting element to the game. You can build a base and from resources in your environment.
Kind of Pal Worldy.
Kind of Power Worldy, and yeah, like everything you do makes you lose energy and lose food, so you have to constantly make sure you're eating. And then if you get injured, you have to watch for infections because like it'll all start to kill you really quickly. But once you like figure out what all is safe to eat, what all combinations you can make, what all medicines there are from like certain plants that you have to identify, you start to get good at it. And you start to like figure out, and like your character also progresses his skills. So, like he'll get good in archery or spearfishing or crafting, fire starting, all of that. So it's very in depth, and the story is very short, but
the survival mode is not.
The survival mode is you go for as long as you can. And if you have to make a fire, which you eventually will, to cook things to get your proteins up so you don't die,
Things see ya.
things see you. And one of the very first tips of the game is like fire may draw unwanted attention,
But you need it.
Oof. And so it's like every time you do it, you're basically inviting things to attack you.
Brayden, can I ask you something?
Of course.
Have you always I know you played a lot of these survival games.
I sure have.
Have you always played them? This is a recent genre for you? Like, do you have a history of survival games?
I would say I have a history of survival games.
Okay.
I've definitely played survival games before this, but I think the one that actually got me fully in love with the full torqued into the survival genre was Subnautica.
And you played that when?
A long time ago. I've played it several times. I played it when it was in early access.
One. Sam's a big fan.
Huge fan of Subnautica. But that's like ocean survival.
Right.
And that gives you the survival kick.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking you've played so many survival games since you've been back from Africa that I thought, because as you were describing the beginning of this game, I was like, this just sounds like what you might have been doing in Africa, and you're trying to relive your glory days.
It's certainly that could be
that might be something in there.
Might be some subconscious.
That's where I'm tying that in.
I did play Subnautica in
Before.
Malawi.
Oh, wow.
But I've also played it.
You played it
before.
that. Yeah. So
I played through it again in Malawi because I was like, I want to play a survival game.
I'm already living this. I might as well play it in the water. Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
could be.
that sounds like a fun game. You said you got it for $4.
$4 on Steam, or not Steam, Switch.
And this is giving you this much joy.
It
Sounds cool. I'd actually consider.
Yeah, after I beat the
fucking around
story, I started up a survival game to see how long I can last. So far, it's been 7 days.
Nice.
I keep dying from infection.
Ugh. So a week's all you got.
Yeah. You also have to manually save your game.
Yeah.
And you can only do that if you have a shelter.
Oh, God.
So,
okay. Yeah, so you can't always.
Yeah.
You can die and lose a lot of shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oof.
Lose a lot of progress.
Oof. I don't like that.
So you have to get good.
I guess so. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's the only way to survive.
And I said I played like probably 10 to 15 hours of this game when you could realistically beat the story in 20 minutes if you run and just pick up the things that you know you need to keep your energy up.
Yeah.
Most of that time was me walking around lost in the forest because the map system, it doesn't like show you where you are. It shows you the map and you have to navigate.
Map.
You have to navigate by compass.
Oh, God.
Using landmarks and stuff.
Oh, you gotta be a Boy Scout.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oof.
This is very Boy Scouty game.
Hey, I'm gonna cut this. Everything you've said.
Okay.
Is awful.
Damn.
No.
I tried.
This. Do you save your wife?
There's a lot of twists.
She gets killed by that fucking tribe, doesn't she?
There's a lot of twists.
Oh, you're not gonna tell me. Okay.
I won't spoil it because it's really good.
Okay. That was just on my mind.
Yeah, I won't. I will not spoil it because it's very good.
Okay.
Unless you want me to spoil it.
No.
I won't spoil it on here.
No, I wouldn't. That's why I said I was gonna cut it, but I won't. No, I don't. You don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
Go on.
It's very good though.
I like a good mystery, so I'll let
It's
you.
a great mystery. It's a very mysterious game. Yeah, one of my biggest disappointments though was that on the cover of this game is your character getting attacked by an anaconda. You eventually find a village with a dead anaconda on display, so you know they're there. I never once saw an anaconda, but I'm pretty sure they're in the game because I've seen like playthroughs of people getting attacked by them.
Yeah.
At least that's what it seemed.
Oh.
But I haven't seen any. I've seen caiman, like the crocodile looking things, jaguars, rattlesnakes, spiders, poison dart frogs, scorpions,
Oh, God.
but no anaconda. But then again, the map is also very big,
Yeah.
and
Now that you've said this, one's gonna fucking get ya.
yeah, And like, there's no fast travel.
Angela Anaconda.
Yeah, there's no fast travel.
Yeah, I
so-
guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
A survival game would be odd if you could just be like, I'll skip the map to get here.
Right, I'll skip all the danger to get back to my safety.
Yeah. Easy pickings. Okay.
Yeah. Great game though.
What's it called again?
Green Hell.
I always ask that. Green Hell.
Yes.
Right, Green Hell.
Buy it on Steam, buy it on Switch. Probably buy it on Xbox, I don't know.
Buy it. Shitters.
Buy it.
Good 15 hours. So I like that we both kind of played two kind of like smaller games.
Yeah.
In our time away from each
Some
other.
breezy games.
I'm working on another one that I'm excited to talk about, but I'm going to save that for a later podcast because I
Fair
just
enough.
started it.
I think I'm going to save my other one for the later podcast too.
Yeah.
I want to wait until I'm actually finished with the series
Yeah.
before I talk about
I
it.
want to wait till I'm deeper into this game that I'm playing too. So
Yeah, that's fair.
So cool.
Well, we said it would be short, Shitters.
Remember though, I said I had two things.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
right.
Never mind.
And for this one, I'm going to need a special guest to come over onto the show. You don't want to? Oh, babe, I was banking on you. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to. It's your birthday. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But you'll come sit by me. I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's enough.
That works.
Shitters know that Momager Miranda is going to sit by me. But if you feel like saying anything, because I might need your help. So just last week, the latest season of Doctor Who wrapped up.
Oh?
And it was quite a season. It was quite a good season. So I don't know if I'll go too into spoilers of it, but I want to talk about some of my thoughts.
Is this this isn't the one with David Tennant?
No, it's after that. So those 3 specials happened, and then I don't know that new actor's
So who's the
name.
Doctor again, currently?
I don't know his name. Nikudi. He's the dude from Sex Education.
It's not the woman anymore?
No, it's not the woman. The woman turned into David Tennant again, and then
Okay,
David
so that
Tennant
was-
turned into this guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
New one entirely.
new one entirely.
So is this the 14th?
This is the 14th Doctor. Well, he counts as the 15th Doctor because David Tennant coming back is the technical 14th Doctor. Because she
Oh.
transformed into him.
A little loophole there.
So then he became the 15th Doctor.
So are they done over with they can only do that every so often? I remember hearing I think when I watched the show originally that they sometime in the show mentioned Time Lords can only resurrect so many times. Are they done with that?
Yeah, they're done with
Yeah.
that. Yeah, they got that out of there. They're past that.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah.
They're like, listen, we got to keep putting this show out. We couldn't just keep 12 on forever, so here we are.
Right.
So they're done with that. And it was a nice little season. It was only if I were to count it as a whole season, I would count the 3 David Tennant specials and the Christmas special, and then this whole season as one entire season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm only going to talk past the David Tennant specials, so it doesn't really matter. But I love this guy as the Doctor. He's really cool. I saw some people commenting online. It was kind of some stupid shit, but some people were bitching about him because they were like, if you're going to get the Doctor to be a black guy, why isn't he a cool black guy? And I'm like, I think he's super cool. What
does that even mean?
Is he flamboyant? Sure, but he's fucking super cool. He's definitely one of the cooler
He has charisma.
versions of the
A lot of
Doctor.
charisma.
Yeah. And when I saw people bitching about him online, I was like, okay, that's a stupid thing to care about.
Yeah. The mistake was reading things online.
Yeah, I gotta stop doing that. I'm really working on that. So it's him. So for anybody who doesn't know, Doctor Who is a series about a guy. He's a Time Lord. He can travel through time, and he usually picks up a human person to travel with him, and they get in crazy misadventures and travel through time and space. And the latest season had him, and when the Doctor dies, he resurrects into
a different
new actor person. Same memory, same person, just a new body. Regeneration, thank you. Resurrection.
Yeah. So a different
But I'm also explaining it to people who don't know, so I don't need to use exact terms.
And the whole
Loophole.
and the whole idea is that he can transform into anyone when he regenerates, right?
I mean, it's
random.
It's random. They kind of give a reason why he turns back into David Tennant when he turns back into David Tennant, but I'm not going to get into that here. And honestly, how David Tennant turns into this guy, very, very different.
Really?
Very different. Yeah, they did a different thing with this.
Huh.
Yeah. But it was whatever at this point. So the season itself, it was a little short. There were only 8 episodes. So you didn't get a whole lot of time to, get to know the Doctor with his new companion. Her name is Ruby.
Ruby Tuesdays.
Sunday.
Ruby Sunday.
Ruby Sunday.
Ruby Sunday.
I was close.
Yeah. And she has a fun little story arc that, if you ask me, I didn't really like how it paid off, but I do and I don't. There are things I don't like about it. They set up a whole mystery to this girl, like who her mother is, because she's like adopted. And in one of the first episodes, it does this vision of her mother dropping her off by a church on Ruby Road, and that's how she got her name. And the Doctor went back to sea, and the mom was hooded, and she pointed at the Doctor, and there was a whole season mystery, and it was crazy. And anytime Ruby thinks about her mom or something throughout the series, it starts to snow wherever they're at.
Oh, wow.
Which they don't really answer. I don't think they ever really answered why she had the power to make it snow and hear Christmas bells.
Is it her ability?
She's
Christmas themed. She's
well,
Christmas
you were
themed
introduced
powers?
to her in the Christmas episode,
Right?
So they base like her whole backstory.
Can she always do that?
She
or
was
just
born
does
on
it-
Christmas Eve.
She just do it then.
She was born on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm definitely hopping around. But I, as a character, I liked her. Like as a Doctor companion, I liked her. I like the stuff they did with her. I just wish we could have got more of it. I guess by the end of the season.
How long were each episode?
Typical 45 to 50 minute episodes of Doctor. I think the finale was like 55 minutes. But what I did like about the entire series was Doctor Who, and as me and Miranda covered through the whole series, it's kind of fallen off a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't kept up with it in a long time.
It's like
I like the David Tennant era.
It's
and
not,
the Matt Smith era.
Right.
but-
It's not as good as those as it used to be. Like things that follow that, storylines and shit, kind of, you just went along with it. It kind of felt like we've returned to form with this new season because I loved all the stories. They all reminded me of like older episodes. They felt very Doctor Who. Like every story
They got
in
the
each
vibe
episode had a cool little mystery, had cool science fiction shit. Like the first episode after you meet Ruby, they go to this like ship that's full of all these babies, but the babies are like, they've been there for years and they can talk. So there's CGI talking babies, and they have to solve like the mystery behind that.
New.
It's new, but it feels, very old school Doctor Who. There's a lot of episodes like that. There's one where the Doctor's gone and it's just Ruby, and she goes throughout like her whole life after this crazy situation that happens, and they play with time to like fix it by the end. But like, it really just felt so Doctor Who. That's all I can say about like the season as a whole. Every episode all the way till the end felt very Doctor Who.
So how many
for
episodes?
better or worse?
So how many episodes are with the new guy?
8, and then a Christmas special, so technically 9.
Okay, that's respectable.
Respectable, doable. The only gripe I really have with the season is it seemed like there were a lot of episodes where like the Doctor was not there or couldn't do, like there's an entire episode where like he's stuck on a mine, and if he moves a certain amount of weight, it will fucking vaporize him and all these people around him. So he's stuck that whole episode. He's there, he's they don't move from that area almost the whole episode, but like he's stuck. He's not really doing anything.
Yeah.
And then like there's another episode where like we follow a totally different character, and she lives in this like bubble that is like social media, and she like sees the Doctor and Ruby pop up to like tell her how to like escape a situation. So they're like sort of kind of in that, but not really.
Yeah.
And then there's the one where it's just Ruby the whole episode, and he's there at the start and he's there at the end, but like he really wasn't in that. So I was like, not a lot of Doctor for a Doctor Who season.
Wonder if he had other commitments.
Maybe that was it. It just seemed like fair, because when he was there, I liked him quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
That definitely seems like something behind the scenes.
Probably, but it was a lot. It was definitely a lot. There's a Bridgerton themed episode.
Really?
Yeah, there's a whole Bridgerton themed episode,
Wow.
and they even talk about it as
They're really
Bridgerton.
drawing from
they
pop
say
culture.
Bridgerton in the episode. Like,
Wow.
Yeah, there's a whole mystic because they go to that time era, but they also do the thing where they play like modern music, but with like old, 1800 sounding shit.
So it's literally like an alternate reality Bridgerton universe.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not. It's just they went back in time normally, and a Bridgerton situation is taking place because there
Gotcha.
are aliens there. And the aliens know Bridgerton because they watch Bridgerton. Like, Bridgerton exists in 2024, where Ruby and the Doctor are from. So they go back in time to do it, but they know what Bridgerton is.
That's how time works in this show.
So, and I really appreciated that episode. There were, but much like Doctor Who, there are a lot of episodes where they kind of solve the problem in a very like, okay, yeah, sure, kind of way. You're just like
super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Because you told me that's how this works. Because this is your universe and these are your rules. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine with me. There's a lot of episodes that end like that, but with Doctor Who, there always has been.
Yeah,
they do wrap the season up in a way that feels very just like
it's always kind of contrived.
Yeah,
but it's good because it's campy in a good way.
Yeah, a lot of new characters. We had there's like a romantic entry or like situation with the Doctor with this guy who kind of reminds me of Jack from those earlier seasons. You remember Jack?
Jack Harkness, yeah.
Jack Harkness.
Is he not on anymore?
I think he might have showed up with the girl Doctor, but Miranda and I didn't finish those seasons. So he
was one of my favorite characters for a long time.
Yeah. He came back. This guy kind of reminds me of him. It's like he's like a space bounty hunter that you meet in the Bridgerton episode, where like, and he's cool. I liked him. I want to see more with him. But there's sort of like a relationship thing. The Doctor's gay. The Doctor's gay now.
Oh.
So
yeah,
which. Not even now. He probably always has been, but like they're just finally playing on that. So that was a thing. He may have died at the end of the episode, but I doubt he did. So we'll see where that goes.
Or
the Jack Harkness. I don't remember his actual name. The guy that reminds me of Jack Harkness.
I feel like there's never any real death in that show.
No.
There's always some science way you can bring someone back.
For a show that has a lot of death, like it features people dying a lot.
Yeah.
There's
an alien disaster every other week.
But there is, I mean, that's how every episode somebody is dead. You're just waiting to see who. But they did do the season finale, the 2-part season finale. They kind of did an Infinity War thing. And it worked. It was fine. It was very, like, people literally turned to dust.
Like the villain wins.
Yes. Yeah. And they solve it pretty easy, which I like. I like how it looked. I like how it played. The episode that led into it was so fucking intense. Like, they tie every episode. That's another thing I like that Doctor Who does that it doesn't do all the time, but it did pretty well this time, where like it seemed like every episode wasn't interconnected, but they all kind of were, and it interconnects and ties to the Ruby mother mystery, like her life mystery, but also this other situation
that's connected.
They did a pretty good job tying shit together. How they like tighten the knot, I don't know if I'm totally on board with, but like I said, I like the Doctor. He's got a lot of charisma. He's a fun guy.
He's a good actor.
I think he does a good job of balancing Goofy.
I hope he gets a lot of seasons
with when he has to get serious, or I don't know. Miranda doesn't think he's very good at that, so he might not actually be. To me, he was. To her, he wasn't. And I've seen people online say he's not always the best either. So,
I wasn't entirely convinced.
Miranda wasn't entirely convinced. And this is her fucking show. So like,
we'll see.
Yeah. So hopefully, I don't know. I didn't notice it so much, but there's a lot of times where I'm just watching something that I'm so into, I'll just gloss over little things like that. But hopefully the directors get on that, because it's very important for the Doctor to be able to balance his silly and goofy and nerdy side.
Yeah, he's always inherently
serious
been like
he
needs to be that comic relief sometimes.
Yeah,
because the serious Doctor, like David Tennant, could do a serious Doctor really well, but like at the same time, he still was very funny and witty and charming in other ways. So you have to really balance that aspect, because otherwise it just seems like a downer all the time.
Yeah. Whereas this guy, he has so much energy that he only turns to his serious side ever so often. So I guess that's a good thing. They don't do a whole lot. There's not a lot of times where he is getting super serious.
Yeah.
He did have a scream in the finale that I was like, I don't know. I didn't take it as seriously as I probably should have.
Because he's been funny this whole time.
Maybe. I don't know. It just sounded funny. He's like, no! I don't know. That was one part that I was like, I don't know how I felt about that. But other than that...
So there's some kinks that need to be worked out.
Sure. And, I mean, other than that, though, like, everybody's a pretty decent actor. All the new characters, nobody really took me out of it ever. Unless they, like, were meant to. There's an entire Beatles episode where they go back and meet the Beatles, but like this villain has taken music from the world, and
Oh no.
that's what I mean. Like all the ideas,
so cool.
all the ideas behind all the episodes are really interesting, and aesthetically, this season looks so good. It's as close to looking like a movie as Doctor Who ever has. Like there's a
wonder what their-
budget now.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Do you think their budget's increased over the years?
Dude, after I've watched every episode, I certainly do. Holy fuck, this season looked really good. The part where like the whole world's turning to dust, like Endgame, was really well shot and looked really good.
Huh. Yeah, because they've always used to have a reputation of having like the low budget special effects that end up being really charming.
Yeah, and they're still there, kind of.
Yeah.
In some
I kind of
spots.
like that aspect.
Yeah, those are still there, but they do like whip their dick out when they want to.
Oh, they whip their dick out in an episode?
Oh, dude, all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
They really are going off on guard with this new season.
Yeah, this Doctor
They're
just
trying
whips his
shit they
dick
never
out.
tried before.
Please,
Doctor
he's
Who.
gonna whip his big old dick out.
Believe it or not, what's the last thing they've ever done in those that they have yet to do? Whip their dick
Whip
out.
their dick out. I certainly haven't seen that. Full penetration. Yeah. So, I thought, and it's considered season 1. Like they retitled this season as season 1, like as another restart. I think as a season 1, it does a pretty good job. Because like they
Good.
do the whole like he has to explain to Ruby how all the rules work, so viewers get
So
to
it's
know.
like rebooting,
It doesn't feel
kinda.
contrived.
It's like a reboot.
Sort of, but not. Sort of, but not. And let me tell you, the way that David Tennant turns into this guy is how it gets to kind of feel like a reboot. But you should watch those specials first to get that.
Yeah, I think
story.
I only saw the one.
I think you might have, yeah, the one, not, yeah. We watched the first one together.
Yes.
But yeah, the
With
other two,
the cute alien that was bad.
yeah.
Big surprise.
The other two are really good. I
Yeah.
think you'll like them quite a bit. Oh, and guess who makes a return
Who makes a return?
in the last 2 episodes?
Is it one of the past companions?
Yes, but that's not who I was talking about. One of like the really old companions makes like from like the 80s and shit. She makes a return. She's been on and off quite often, but not too much. Donna's kid, the girl that you thought was a terrible actress, she makes a return at the end of this season.
Oh,
Yeah, she's-
was she still bad?
No, she was never bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Donna Noble's daughter.
Yeah.
I think she was like transgender guy. Don't
Yes.
know. Don't know what was going on there. They like poked at the idea of talking about transgender things, but didn't really dive into it enough to make any sense out of it.
I would have respected them more if they just went full torque into
Full
it.
torque into it, me too. So, but she makes a return in the last 2 episodes of this season.
How was she?
Fine. She didn't really have a lot to do or say, but she was involved from time to time. She has a very just blank look on her face too that goes with the blank way she acts.
Oh, so you don't like her acting either?
I mean, yeah, it's not the best.
Oh, I thought you were defending her.
No.
Okay.
No. She made a return, and it made me think of you
I don't
when
remember
saw
much
her.
about her performance.
Yeah,
I do
I
just
remember you
it
didn't
being
like her.
Not good. Yeah.
Yeah.
15th Doctor.
They they set up, I believe, a future villain. They did like they ended the season with like a like they solved the issue, but there's a
That's
future.
good.
I'm rambling, aren't I? Yeah. So yeah, that's all I really got
that's
to say
Doctor
about
Who.
Doctor Who's new season. If you don't watch Doctor Who, maybe give it a try. If you don't want to watch through all of Doctor Who, I think this is a good
I
place
think
to
there's
jump
something.
on.
There's something for everyone in Doctor Who. There's at
agree.
least one episode I think people would enjoy.
Yeah, I remember when I started Doctor Who, when Miranda started showing it to me, it was like the 4th episode before I was like, oh yeah, I'm in it now.
Yeah.
Like an episode just had to hit, and when it did, I was like, I'm here.
I think not all of them hit, but the ones that hit, they hit hard.
Yeah. Like think like
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or who's Rihanna's boyfriend? Chris Brown. Think Chris Brown.
Well, ex-boyfriend.
Yeah. But
She's boyfriend to A$AP Rocky now.
whatever, dude. I don't care.
A$AP Rocky's her boyfriend.
I don't care.
They have a baby together.
Well, so do me and Miranda.
I think they're having their second one.
Well, we're not. So what I'm going to say now is Braden and I are going to step off, and Momager Miranda. We're going to go have some birthday cake.
Step
and
off.
then we're going to watch Momager Miranda's In the Dark movie pick that we just have no idea what
we
it's
are
going to
both
be.
in the dark.
So when we return, we will be announcing what that is and discussing our thoughts and opinions on it.
Yes, but for you, it'll feel like no time at all.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Them in the future.
Them in the future. Yeah.
Well, shitters, we'll see you in a little bit.
Toodles.
So how was your weekend? Did you spend the whole time hunting wild signatures?
Actually, I went on a date.
Get right out of town. How was that?
Unexpected. really good-looking guy, and I thought he was kind of cheesy at first.
Trust your instinct.
But he turned out to be totally sweet. Sometimes people are layered like that. There's something totally different underneath than what's on the surface.
And sometimes there's a third, even deeper level, and that one is the same as the top surface one.
Huh?
Like with Pi. So you can see him again?
I think I will. Oh. Billy? Yeah? You're driving the spork into your leg.
So I am. Hilarious.
What's up, shitters? We just got back from watching Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. It was revealed to us.
Yes. Yeah, thank God you remembered the whole title, because I wouldn't have remembered the whole title. I can never remember. Like I said upstairs, I said Mr. Megorium's Wonderimporium.
Yeah, so right when we were about to watch this, we were totally in the dark of what it was, and Miranda gave us a few clues.
Just a little hint.
Just a few hints as to what it could be. The first one that surprised us was that we were expecting a
feature-length film.
Feature-length film, because she mentioned that it was shorter than other movies, but she said it was 42 minutes. So we're like, what? What could it be?
Yeah, what movie is only in the 40-minute range?
To which both of our minds went to...
I thought it like a cartoon.
Some kind of cartoon or animation.
Some kind of kids
movie.
thing.
Yeah, something that we'll watch. And she also said, no, it's not a cartoon. It's a live action.
She put a gun to my head when she said it like that, too. She was like, that's
slapped,
not what it is. It's not a cartoon.
She slapped you around and twist your nipples a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And that's just what we do sometimes. It's her birthday.
Yeah, and so we were pleasantly surprised to see that it was Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. Chase, do you think you could describe the story of Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog for the shitters, what we just watched?
So Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog is a movie about a guy who goes by Dr. Horrible. His name is Billy. At least that's the name he gives.
The alias he gives.
When he gives is Billy. But
I didn't believe his real name.
It's played by
Billy.
Neil Patrick Harris, and the idea of this is it starts off and he's just like, you can tell it's a guy who's being a supervillain, and he's speaking into a video camera for a blog, and he's like reading letters. So he seems to be a villain that really wants to be a villain, but
yeah, it's from his perspective.
Yeah,
of him being
he's
a
the
villain.
lead character.
He's kind of not the best at villaining.
He's not the best at villaining, but not in a way that like. He's actually a good guy. He really is a bad guy.
Yeah. They make that clear.
Yeah, and I think that's something in the movie that I like, is that all the characters are very dynamic.
Yeah.
I guess
that was one of the things I was going to say. You know, thinking back to Morbius, which we recently watched, I think I would have been more interested in Morbius if it was a straight up villain origin story. They don't try to make him an anti-hero. They don't try to redeem him in any kind of way. He's just bad.
Yeah.
And we kind of got that with this.
Yeah.
Not in the sense that like he's absolutely horrible that like audiences can't root horrible.
You are rooted for him.
Yeah. In certain ways, but it's still made clear that like he's not a good guy.
No.
He wants to take over the world. And he's going to kill people if he needs to get there.
Right. Which at first he doesn't want. So the movie kind of plays out with the structure is he wants to get into this like League of Villains. I can't remember what they're called.
League of Villains, we'll call it.
Yeah, we'll call it that. And so he has to do like big deal, crime or big deal super villainy.
Some high profile super villain
for him to
crime.
get in.
Yeah.
And along the way, there's a girl that he's in love with. That he's never talked to, but he sees her at the laundromat.
Yes.
And there's a superhero who is his arch nemesis that he has to face off with. And throughout the film, we're kind of seeing his origin story to true evil villain, as opposed to just like a bad guy.
Because he's bad. Like he makes it clear that he has bad intentions and he wants to take over the world. He's still kind of portrayed as like a guy who knows that he's bad but believes he's doing it for the right reasons, because his whole deal is that the world is corrupt and a mess and the current people in charge aren't doing a good job, and so he would do a better job if he were to just take control from everyone. And he does have like a genius to him. Like he makes
all the things. He makes a freeze ray.
Yeah.
He makes a death beam. All these things,
he
they don't
remote
work
control
the way
a
he
car.
wants them to.
He can hack into a car.
So he's capable.
He's capable, somewhat incompetent, and just he almost doesn't have confidence in himself sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, because it switches. The whole movie, it's going back and forth as him as Dr. Horrible and him as Billy in his personal life. And
Right.
those are some fun scenes. I like watching him because you think like he'd act like a normal person when he's not a
He acts
villain,
like
but
the
he's
Unabomber.
yeah, yeah, he really does. He really
He gave
does.
me big Unabomber vibes
Yeah.
for this. And yeah, you mentioned that there's a romance. He's in love with this girl at his laundromat that he sees. He knows her name's Penny because it's made clear that he spies on her and stalks her a lot.
Just at the laundromat.
Just
though.
at the laundromat, but then later on he stalks her other places.
Sure,
Once
yeah.
she starts dating his
Right, once they get
Nemesis.
so they do get to know each other.
Yeah.
So he ends up like going to do a heist, and during the heist, Penny is asking people to help save the homeless.
Yeah, she's a bleeding heart. She's like polar opposite morality from Dr. Horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, no spoilers just yet, but it would have never really made sense if they got together.
No.
I found it weird that the movie does kind of make it seem like she wants to be with him.
Yeah, like
with
she could
the
be
little bit they do.
interested. I think she's just a nice person who's
Yeah.
being nice to him as a friend.
She doesn't see how he says some really weird shit to her in their first conversation.
Yeah.
Like, and he's ignoring her the whole time. Like
He's like in the middle of the heist for their first ever conversation because she comes up to him and asks him about if he wants to help the homeless. And he's like very dismissive, like he's more focused on the heist, which is surprising because you'd think
he'd want to talk to the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he chooses not to.
He chooses
and every
to-
decision he makes throughout the movie only makes his situation with her
worse.
worse. Everything he does gets in his way.
Yeah. Because we mentioned during the heist when he first talked to her, and that was the first time she'd ever spoken a word to him. It gets foiled or almost foiled by his arch nemesis, the superhero Captain Hammer, who's
Captain
played
By Nathan Fillion.
by Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, when did this movie come out? What is the date on this movie?
Good question. 20,
Because Nathan
2017?
Fillion's definitely younger.
2017, 2018?
Oh, I thought it was much older than that, but
Sing along blog.
2008.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I thought it was, because Nathan Fillion looked really young in
Yeah.
this. And
Where'd the time go?
where did the time go, man? You thought it was just a couple years ago? It was almost 20 years ago.
I think I remember watching it when it came out, so yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I guess so. I was in high school.
I didn't think it was that long ago.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely younger. Neil Patrick Harris is almost timeless. Like you can't base that. I
He
would
has a
almost
very
agree
good-
it could be 2017 because he looks the same.
It's either genetics
Yeah.
or a good skincare routine.
Yeah, something
or
like that.
A good surgeon.
Yeah.
Because he looks immortal.
This is also a musical. Like we said, it's a sing along. I don't think
It's a
we've
sing-along,
touched on.
but we haven't touched on the
a lot
music
of the
at
things
all.
they tell you. A lot
That's
of the
one of the big
exposition.
draws of the
Oh,
movie
right
is
away. The
music.
music is beautiful. Like it's really
very
good
good.
music. Everybody's a great singer.
Like I said, I've seen this a long time ago, and I didn't remember much about it. But as soon as the song started, I immediately recognized every song, and like each song is memorable in its own way.
Yeah.
There's a few that were just kind of like transition songs.
Sure.
But like the main songs were very memorable, very good.
When he snaps, so there's a point in the movie, like we were saying, he tries to do the heist, and during the heist, he chooses to do the heist instead of stopping the heist and going to talk to Penny. He chooses to continue to do the heist, and
Yes.
because of that, Captain Hammer intervenes. Penny is almost hit by the heist vehicle, and Captain Hammer saves her, and because of that, they fall in love. It's shown
Right.
that they fall in love. Like they
Kinda.
start dating.
They start dating. It's kind of made clear that they're not right for each other. Like Captain Hammer's, he's a superhero. He's a good guy, but
He's also not a good guy.
Not a good guy.
Everybody's got layers.
Yeah.
It's a very real world situation.
he's kind of a narcissist and
Yeah. Yep.
a baby. And he's dating Penny for the wrong reasons, with the wrong intentions.
Yeah.
Or like he kind of just wants to bang her.
Well, honestly, because at first they are dating, right? And I don't think he knew that the guy at the laundromat was Dr. Horrible.
No.
You know what I mean? So I think
Right.
at that point he switches and he's like, "Oh, Dr. Horrible,
Now
you're
I'm
in
really
love with
gonna-
this girl. I'm definitely gonna bang her."
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do it. I'm going to tell you about it.
And that causes Dr. Horrible, so Dr. Horrible, he fails the heist, and the League of Villains is like, you have to murder someone now, and he's like kind of hesitant on if he should murder anybody. And once Captain Hammer is like, I'm gonna fuck your girl, he's like, I'm gonna kill. Like that. There's a song to that. It's a really good song. I like that one.
Yeah,
That's probably my
it gets
favorite one.
surprisingly dark in certain places. For the most part, it's a comedy.
For sure.
It's lighthearted.
It's silly, yeah.
But yeah, it's not till the end where it starts to get serious in a way. It's still, a musical, but like the songs are just a lot more serious. There's not really many laughing moments near the end.
Yeah. One of the characters we skipped by, though, that I think deserves a shout out is Dr. Horrible's roommate. Is it
Moist.
his roommate? The
Yeah.
moist guy?
Yeah.
There's a guy who's just, his supervillain ability is that he's just sweaty as fuck.
He's just a very
He's
sweaty
just a
guy.
very wet guy.
And he's
and
called Moist.
he's funny. He just has a few lines, a few throwaway lines that are like little puns.
He's one of the actors, one of the roommates on The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah,
Not a
it's-
roommate, but their
God,
friend.
I wish I knew their names.
Howard? I don't know.
Howard, the
Is it?
straight-haired,
I
kinda
think so. I don't
pointy
know.
nose looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
Howard,
yeah.
So he's in it, and he plays a really funny character. I love. There's just scenes with him in the background with things slipping out of his hands because he's just sweaty
Yeah,
and
it's
wet.
just like some funny physical comedy. Like, it doesn't mean anything
What's he
else.
say at one point? He's like, "Oh, the worst I can do is make him want to take a shower."
Yeah.
So he was fun. Just a quick shout out to him because there's not a lot of characters. It's
Yeah.
like him, Hammer, Neil Patrick Harris, Dr. Horrible, and Penny.
Very small cast.
Yeah.
It's implied that
It's a
they
short
live
movie.
it's implied that they live in a world where there's other supervillains and superheroes and stuff, but that's just
These are the ones we're doing for this.
these are the ones we're doing at this level. And most of them are pretty low level people in that they're not very intimidating. Like the most powerful supervillain is Bad Horse.
Who is just a horse.
He's just a horse
He's
that's
just a
bad.
horse. Yeah. So the third act starts. Captain Hammer is giving a speech at this homeless shelter that they're opening because Penny's whole thing, she wants to save the homeless. So how did he get her? He convinces the mayor to like open a homeless shelter.
Yeah.
And they're at the opening of this homeless shelter. He's giving a really like narcissistic song speech. He's basically making fun of the homeless people.
Yeah, it
It's a
makes
funny
Penny
scene.
uncomfortable. She
Yeah.
leaves.
She
we
starts
assume.
to leave, but then boom, Dr. Horrible shows up with his freeze ray. Put your freeze ray.
And then he threw up with the freeze ray.
Go stupid. No, he shows up with his freeze ray, and he blasts Captain Hammer and freezes him. And that's a really when he like comes down. That felt very super villainy. Like,
Yeah, that was one of my
we
favorite
took him
parts.
very seriously at that point.
Yeah, it was because the whole thing is very serious at this part, but like the music really does a good job at creating the atmosphere of like, oh, he's in a completely different headspace now from what we're used to. Like he was always kind of crazy and like wanted to be a villain, but he still had like some reluctance to him. Like he didn't want to kill people, and his crimes were mostly benign for the most part. Like he's never actually taken a life.
Right.
He just gets beat up a lot and fails.
But here he comes. His whole goal here is to kill Captain Hammer.
Yeah, and you can tell he's serious. Of course that goes wrong.
It goes wrong. He goes to kill Captain Hammer, and he can't quite do the kill shot. And in that time that he's wasting, the freeze ray. God damn it. That's a tough word to say.
By the way, it's freeze ray in that it, yeah, it's tough.
It is tough.
In that it stops time. It doesn't like ice them.
Right. I forgot to say that. Yeah. So he freezes him in time. Freezes him in time with the freeze ray. So the freeze ray, it turns off. So he's free. He just
Randomly.
punches him in the face.
We're
knocks
assuming
out
just
Dr. Horrible.
It just malfunctioned, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Or maybe it was on a time limit. Maybe it couldn't do it forever. I'm not really sure. But then Captain Hammer gets the gun, like the death ray, and he's about to fucking kill Neil Patrick Harris, Dr. Horrible. And it just kind of backfires on him because it's not everything he makes works correctly.
Well, no, I think when he punched Dr. Horrible, I think it broke a part of the death
okay.
ray.
Okay.
Because it like showed the death ray falling, and I think it was
Okay.
meant to be like it.
Now it's going to misfire.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah, it was a misfire, and it explodes in his hand.
Explodes in his hands, fucks him up. He doesn't kill him, but just like freaks him out. He
At
runs
first,
away
it
like a
looks
little
like
girl.
it obliterates him.
It looks like his hands got blown off.
Yeah.
I thought his hands blew off and shot over the fucking
Yeah, it
walls.
looked. I guess it was shrapnel.
It was
but it looked
shrapnel
like
of the
chunks
gun.
of flesh.
Yes,
at
it
first.
did. Yeah, I thought the same thing. But no, it's his hands just get hurt and he runs away like a baby. But because of this explosion, for the second time, maybe the third time in the movie, Dr. Horrible's action is what is his downfall.
Yeah.
Because the shrapnel, Penny's still there. She didn't leave entirely. She saw the whole thing, has shrapnel in her stomach, and to a beautiful song, dies in Dr. Horrible's arms. And we finally see him sink entirely into evil.
Yeah.
But because of this, he got his murder. So now he's in the League of Villains.
Yeah, he got credit for the murder, even though it was an accident and he didn't intend to do it. The headlines everywhere just read that he murdered Captain Hammer's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he gains that notoriety
Yes.
and gets like actual arch nemesis status for
It's a
Captain
very
Hammer.
bittersweet type of feeling ending because like you're seeing him get everything he wants. The song that's singing is about him getting everything he wants.
Right, this was
but
his
it was
original
at
goal.
the cost of the woman he loved, which is a pretty good supervillain. For a goofy scene, it's very serious. It's this weird mix of goofy and serious.
And I did like that he never got with her.
Yeah.
Like, they never gave him that, which was good because it didn't make sense. Because I think they make it pretty clear neither of these guys are good for her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's an innocent in all this and is just trying to do good, and she ends up getting killed because of their antics.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was an innocent, and like, you know, she really shouldn't have ended up with either of them. And that's what happened at the end, which was, I think, the best way you could have done it.
Well,
in the worst way.
The worst way for her, the best way.
The worst
in
way
the
for
film.
her, the best way they could have wrapped up the story of like, yeah, it just wouldn't have felt right if like he got her
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah.
Especially because they were
He's a
so
bad guy.
He's a bad guy, and her whole thing is she's good.
Right, yeah. Yeah. They're very opposite. Even though they hit it off when they talk, it's more because she's so nice that the dumb, weird things he says just go right over her
Yeah,
head.
she's so nice it's gonna kill her one of these days.
And it does.
And it does.
So the end of the movie is him walking into the room of the League of Villains at this like party. You see a lot of these like major super villains. They're funny looking,
Yeah.
but
Moist
also
is there.
Moist is there. There's the horse is just a horse.
Yeah.
What do you think of the end of the movie? How did you take how it just ended? Like it cuts back to the blog, and it looked like it's him doing the blog from like earlier in the movie. I don't know
Right.
how I'm supposed to take that ending. How did you take it?
I just took it as like it's his old lab or his house or something. Like
okay.
he's still living in the same area. He's just like gets invited to the parties now.
Got you. That's definitely it. Because when I saw that, I was like, oh, was I supposed to think this whole third act didn't happen?
No, it happened. I
Okay.
think. Yeah, I think it's just that, you know, he achieved everything he wanted. He's became a villain, but
He still just lives at home
he's still
in a junky little apartment.
yeah.
Does his blog.
Because I assume he doesn't get paid.
Yeah.
He just has to steal all of his money.
Probably. Looks like he was doing well. It does a little montage of like continuing villainy that
Yeah.
he does.
Yeah, and it's all absurd. Like nothing's supposed to make. You're not supposed to think too heavily about things. Like the police know who he is and beat him up, but they never arrest him.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he says to Moist at the beginning, he's like, he just beat me up and twisted my shoulder last week.
Yeah.
So
like it's almost like he's not seen as a threat
no.
for a while. Like he's just seen as like this goon that wears glasses that you know constantly fucks up. But he does. He made an actual death ray and an actual freeze ray.
He sure did. And they worked.
Yeah.
And yeah, I watched this movie a few years back, and I remember I didn't even know. I remember she just put it on one day, and I didn't even know how long it was. So I remember feeling like, oh no, it's already over. Like I wanted so much, I wanted more, but I mean, only because I didn't know how long it was.
Yeah.
I think it tells a very complete, good.
I don't think we need more of this, but I get that disappointment initially because we're not trained to
Yeah.
just accept a story for that length of time and have it be it.
Yeah.
In this day and age where everything has 5 or 6 seasons of things.
Sure. Or is just a movie that's like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
To tell everything it needs to tell.
Yeah.
But that one is pretty crisp, pretty perfect for what it is. It's entertainment and entertainment's sake.
Yeah, and it's it's hard to be bored during it because it gets going right away.
You're into the serious moments, but you're also laughing at the funny moments. There's a lot of funny moments. A lot of different kinds of funny moments.
Yeah, the humor is very unique. Like it's kind of all over the place in a good way. My favorite joke was the newscaster lady where like they talk about opening the homeless shelter for Captain Hammer. And the newscaster lady's like, today it's a lucky day to be homeless.
Yeah.
Or like their faces just laughing.
Yeah, they just keep going
at their own joke.
I like how even Captain Hammer's speech starts with him being like, "I hate homeless," or like the
Ness.
homeless, the Ness.
Yeah, goes to the next card. Ness problem.
Yeah, I enjoy this little nugget of whatever it is. It's definitely like a low budget. I don't even know project.
Just passion project for Joss Whedon and Neil Patrick
Oh, yeah,
Harris.
it was Joss Whedon. Yeah.
Joss Whedon directed this.
Before Avengers.
Before Avengers, yeah.
So that's pretty cool. He's done a lot of things before Avengers.
If it weren't for
but
this, we probably wouldn't have Avengers.
Probably wouldn't have Avengers. If we didn't get this...
Because they're like, oh, he's the Dr. Horrible guy. We should hire him
He's
to do
funny.
our
He's got
superhero.
jokes.
He's superhero experience already.
Honestly, for the people, because, there's people now that are like, oh, there's too many jokes in Marvel movies. They try to be funny too often. Well, I'd say Avengers was the first movie where they really started leaning into the funniness. So there's Joss Whedon to blame. You could see it in this movie that he's just funny.
Yeah, see his early style.
Yeah. So, yeah. That is Dr. Horrible.
Sing-along blog.
Sing-along blog. It was Miranda's birthday pick. Were you happy to watch it? She enjoyed it.
She was happy.
So now we decided, since her movie was a shorter one, that we had a little extra time, we're going to show Miranda a movie. She's not in the dark about it, but she's never seen it.
Never seen it, so she's in the dark about
she's
the
in the dark
details.
about what it is.
Yeah.
We're going to put on...
Swiss Army Man.
Yes. Swiss Army Man is a movie that's near and dear to Braden and I. And we'll get into all of that during our discussion of the movie. But we're going to show Miranda. We're going to watch it.
I think we talked about Swiss Army Man, or talked about watching Swiss Army Man in one of
our
the very first episodes. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not, I've never put it online.
Yeah, it's a lost episode. You can't find it.
It's terrible. So we'll get into that later. So we're going to go watch that and we'll be back. But get ready, because this movie, for anybody who hasn't seen Swiss Army Man, pause this and fucking go watch it.
Yeah, because this is all going to be spoilers. We're going to spoil it all. This is a movie you want to watch. Yeah. Spoiler free.
It's funny. It's good. It's all over the place. We'll see you guys.
Yep.
You don't know the real world, Manny. What if they meet you and they don't see what I see? What if they don't...
That's stupid. From the first day we met, you've been pushing me and poking me, making me spit, making me cry. How come I never get to see you do any of those?
Because I'm scared. Okay. Because I'm just a scared, ugly, useless person.
But maybe everyone's a little bit ugly. Yeah, maybe we're all just ugly, dying sacks of shit. And maybe all it'll take is one person to just be okay with that, and then the whole world will be dancing and singing and farting, and everyone will feel a little bit less alone.
Man, you have no idea how nice that sounds.
Well, Braden, we finished Swiss Army Man.
You sure did. What a ride.
What a ride.
What
Always
a
a
journey.
good time. Always fun.
Yeah, I never get tired of watching this movie.
You must have watched it recently with Kaylee then.
Yeah, like a couple months ago.
Okay, yeah.
So I just recently watched this. It's still fresh in my mind. There's only a few parts of the movie where I tune out.
Sure.
But it's mostly just 'cause I know it's going to happen. And there's a few slow parts of the movie. Not bad parts, but just like...
I think I noticed them more upon this watching. Because I mean, I haven't seen it in 4 years. I forgot most of the nitty-gritty details.
Yeah.
Like, certain things I remembered.
There's a few scenes they stay in for a while where it's just kind of
a little long,
like trying to figure out, things. But there's so many interesting things that happen in this movie that you don't really even think about those parts.
Why don't you describe to the shitters how you introduced me to this movie?
So this was back during like the height of the pandemic. I had just gotten back.
Glory days.
Yeah, the glory days. I had just gotten back from overseas, and we were looking for new movies to watch, especially because I hadn't watched, a lot of new movies in a while. But as we were scrolling, we couldn't choose which movie to watch because the criteria was we both needed to have not seen it and we both have to agree to watch it.
Because we used to go to the movies together before he left for Africa, and we would see new movies. And since the movie theaters weren't open, we wanted to recreate that feeling.
Yes, exactly. So
I did.
Yeah. And so I saw Swiss Army Man in one of the movie previews, and I really wanted Chase to watch it. I knew that was the movie we needed to watch because he had never seen it. The only issue was I had already seen it. Mm-hmm. So I already knew what I was getting into. I'd watched it probably a year or two before that. Would have to be at least over a year because I was in Africa for 9 months.
Sure.
Anyways, I'd already seen it. but I knew I really wanted you to see it and that you would really enjoy it. And so I lied to you.
Lied to my face.
I lied right to your face the entire time and pretended.
The whole movie.
The whole movie, and pretended like it was the first time
He'd experienced it.
I'd ever experienced the movie. And
He
I
didn't do a good job pretending. I just believed him, really.
Yeah. I think I did a pretty good job.
You sat there. You were very, like, so the whole, okay, Braden's going to explain the plot of this movie very soon, but it's a fucking crazy movie. And the whole time we were watching the movie, I was just like, what the fuck is going on? The whole time, because that's what this movie is, just a lot of random shit.
Crazy stuff.
And I would look at Braden thinking that we were experiencing the craziness together. I thought he was just kind of more of the straight man, just sitting there, like, taking it in while I was going, what the fuck? But really, he'd already seen it.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, and I let you think that for months until
yeah, it was
probably
at least a month or two.
It was like one of our very. It might have been the first episode.
I think it was the first episode of this podcast.
We ever did, where I admitted to you live on air for all the shitters in the audience to see. They weren't called shitters yet, and we had no audience. That I'd already seen that before.
Yeah, years before. It wasn't new to him at all.
Yeah,
and it warped my entire brain. In that moment, I was like, "You got it." I'm gonna try to do this for everybody for this episode. It's horrible audio quality, but I'm gonna sneak in just a clip from that episode of me responding to you,
your live reaction,
because I was a lot of emotions.
You're dumbfounded, betrayed.
We watched Swiss Army Man.
Swiss Army Man.
About a month ago.
Yeah.
Throughout the watch, man, I was looking at you a lot.
See my reaction?
Honestly, because I myself didn't know how I should feel.
And what did I see?
The movie itself made me feel unsure what was going on a lot of the time. And I wasn't sure what emotion I should present to the scenes that I'm seeing, even though I felt them. But I wanted to look at you to confirm that was like what I was supposed to even be feeling or getting out of this shit. I feel, how many times did I turn to you and say, what the fuck is going on in this movie? Out loud.
Yeah. Many times. Probably at least half a dozen.
What a movie.
Yeah. Did I seem like I was reacting strangely to it at all?
You were pretty calm and cool and collect. Sometimes I look over there, you'd be half asleep. So I was like, okay. Yeah. So I should feel like I shouldn't be interested in this movie or time with my friend whatsoever.
Because he clearly does not give a fuck. Well, that's because I have a confession to make. I had seen Swiss Army Man before, and I really wanted you to watch it, but I wanted to pretend like we were both experiencing it for the first time together, because I think it would be funnier that way. And I wanted to watch that movie again, but I was like,
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you for real?
Yeah.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Dude, I thought that was the first movie that we watched that neither of us had seen. Why didn't you say you'd seen it?
Oh, because I really wanted you to watch it, but we specifically agreed that we were going to watch a movie that we both hadn't seen. But when I saw that movie, I was like, Chase has got to see this movie, but like he's not going to want to watch it if I say I've seen it. Yeah.
Oh my god, man. I'm thinking, I'm sitting there that whole night reading the plot to you going, what is this about? And you had not much to say. Unbelievable. When did you see it for the first time?
Oh, like a year or two ago.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. Oh my god, that changes the whole experience for me a little. Oh my god. I kept turning to you so many times. Oh my god, you knew what was gonna happen. I thought we were figuring out things about the movie together at the same time, man. Oh my god.
I wish we could have.
You played that off so well, as if you also didn't know what the fuck was going on.
It's because I'm always lying.
Oh my god.
My real name's not Braden.
Yes, it is. Your real name's not Brad.
Yes, it is.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. Huh.
Yeah. But I thought it was such a weird movie that you would enjoy it. And you did, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I did.
Made you feel things, right?
Yep.
Made you think about, like, a movie probably more than you've thought about a movie in a while. Right.
Maybe. I mean,
yeah.
Wow. You knew everything that was going to happen the whole fucking time.
I forgot some things because it was a while since I'd seen it.
Wow. Handwriting.
Yes, Swiss Army Man, the movie.
Yeah, go ahead. You've seen it twice. Explain the plot. Yeah, there was a lot. I mean, I laughed. I know I'm laughing a lot, but I'm also just like completely blindsided by what you had told me. I really thought we experienced this crazy ride together.
Yeah.
But we didn't.
And the fact was, we never could.
No.
Because I had already seen it
He'd already seen it always, but he just wanted me to see it that bad. And I'm glad he did it, because I do like this movie a lot.
I knew you were likely never going to see it if I didn't convince you to see it.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe another time you could have offered it when the criteria wasn't.
We'll throw a poll up. Shitters, do you think I was wrong to lie to my friend about watching this movie so he could see it, even though he really enjoys it now, even though
I do enjoy it.
It tainted.
But I thought we were sharing that together, and it's kind of a bro movie.
Yeah, it is a bro movie. It's about best friends.
Yeah, and we didn't share that together like I thought, so it was something. But yeah, that's a good poll. Is Braden in the right, or am I?
Yeah,
for being upset,
because it's one of your favorite movies now.
It's up. It's up there. It's good. It's a movie that sticks with you. So let's get into that, because we've talked a lot about it so far. Braden, to the shitters, your best way that you can try to explain this movie.
All right, I will do my absolute best.
Yeah.
So we start out in the ocean and on a deserted island.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Dano is one of the main actors in this movie, and he is about to hang himself. We see through context clues that he is stranded on this island. We see some debris that he was throwing out into the ocean to try and hopefully get a message out to someone to come save him, saying how his boat wrecked and he washed up on this island, and he's presumably been there for at least a week or two because he has a full scraggly survivor man beard. But it opens with him ready to hang himself.
Yeah. It's very beautiful. The way that the cinematography in this movie is
it's very artfully done.
Artfully done, really. Yeah.
It's an artsy movie. I think it's an indie movie.
Definitely. It has that vibe.
Yeah, it has the vibe of an indie movie.
I can't imagine pitching this to any big studio that.
Yeah. So we're just going to say it's an indie movie because it probably is. So anyways, right as Paul Dano is about to step off the block and hang himself, he notices that there is a body washed up on shore, and he accidentally steps off because this surprises him so much and nearly hangs himself, but luckily the rope that he used was a piece of shit and broke, and so he fell and went to go check out the dead body. The dead body is played by Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a dead body. And he goes up to it, checks to make sure that he's dead, because he originally thinks that he might just be passed out. But no, he's dead. There's gas buildup in the body and everything, what happens with dead bodies. So much so that this corpse is just farting up a storm,
just ripping ass.
Very gross, just farting up a storm. Because as people die, gases build up in your bodies, and you fart and shit yourself.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, this guy's dead. I'm just gonna take his belt to retie my noose and kill myself again. As he's attempting the second time to kill himself, he notices he keeps getting interrupted by his thoughts from the farts from this dead body, Daniel Radcliffe.
And the farts keep happening.
They keep building and getting greater.
Stronger farts. And then the body starts shaking around from how much it's farting. It's sitting by the ocean, just vibrating from
violently
the farts.
Farting up a storm in this ocean. And the tides is starting to come in, and the body gets taken out into the ocean a little bit, and the farts are farting so much that it's causing the body to swim around in a circle. And that's when a kind of light bulb moment goes off in Paul Dano's mind.
Hank?
Yeah, his character's name is Hank.
Yeah,
we find out. Hank's mind. He gets off of his noose again. He goes up to the dead body. He finds the piece of rope that he used to tie the first noose and wraps it around the body. And he takes off on this fucking dead body like a jet ski, propelled by his farts.
And that's the opening scene of the movie.
That's
like
the intro.
It shows him traveling through the ocean by the jet ski of the fart, and it's Swiss Army Man.
Swiss
the title
Army Man.
comes up, and he rides him for a while before they crash, and it kind of looks like they might die in the ocean, but they actually get swept up and go. They escape the island.
Yeah, they
and
make
end
it
up
to the
on
mainland.
The mainland into the forest.
Yeah, it's like an unpopulated beach on the mainland of what I'm assuming is West Coast. It looked West Coast.
Sure.
We'll say West Coast.
We'll say West Coast. The movie doesn't really tell you a lot.
No.
And that's kind of the charm, is you're really just trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, if any of it's real.
Yeah. It doesn't matter where this dead body came from. It doesn't matter where Paul Dano came from.
Yeah.
You learn more about these two people as time goes on.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, yeah, he's still in a survival situation, but he's in a lot better spot than he was on the island. He almost leaves the dead body because it's still just a dead body, but something causes him to
he needs to take it with him.
He thinks he needs to take it with him, so he takes this. He puts it on his back and carries Daniel Radcliffe out of there.
He's talking to him the whole time like he's an alive guy.
Yeah. There's still dialogue happening, but he's still it's Paul Dano talking to himself, Hank talking to himself.
Right.
They head up into the woods, and he finds a cave where he thinks, he's probably going to leave the dead body again because he can't carry it any longer.
Yeah.
He's wasting a lot of energy and is starving. And that is until there's a rainy night where a lot of water got into the dead body, like into his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And in the morning, he discovers that it's basically like a water fountain. Like if he presses on the dead body's chest, water, like fresh water
comes out that he can drink.
Yes.
And he starts drinking a fuck ton of it. And right around there, with this part in the movie, since we'd seen it before, I've forgotten how much time there really was between the start of the movie and after Hank gets the water out of Daniel Radcliffe, who is Manny, that's when Manny starts talking. He starts being able to. He's like a live dead body.
Yeah, Manny starts to come to life, and that's where the movie really starts. Actually,
yeah,
like the Swiss Army Man, comes to life. Because Daniel Radcliffe starts actually having lines, and they're spoken. He does a really good job at playing a dead body, because, or I guess a partially alive dead body.
It certainly doesn't feel like you're seeing Harry Potter.
No,
it's its own character.
It's an entirely different character. He really pulled out his acting chops. He had to have studied dead bodies to research for this role, because even just how he talks still sounds like a lot of the muscles in his face aren't working. Like he kind of slurs and
that's pretty good.
Yeah, and has trouble getting words out a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But throughout the movie, he gets better at talking.
Yeah.
But essentially, Daniel Radcliffe's character, who calls himself Manny, like that was the first word he said was Manny, and so he's called Manny. Manny doesn't remember anything from when he was alive.
Just life in general.
Yeah, like literally anything. He knows how to talk, but he doesn't know the concepts of anything.
Yeah.
So Hank essentially has to explain every important thing in life, from the small details to the big details.
And that's where the magic of the movie kind of is, because it's a funny movie, but it has a lot of very deep scenes, a lot of deep concepts. Hank is teaching Manny about emotions, about love, about fear, about all these things, and it gets pretty deep. There's musical numbers. There's a lot of great songs that they play with.
Movie. Yeah, a lot of the movie is sung partially, a lot of the songs are sung partially by the actors in the movie.
Yeah.
Like those start the song, and then it'll pick up into a background soundtrack,
a big chorus.
But it's all I don't know how to describe the music in this.
I don't know how to describe the music either.
Indie.
I found that this and Dr. Horrible had very similar, musical numbers, the sounds, how the music is. And
very upbeat but somber.
Yeah.
Almost.
Kind of like the situation, because they're trying to survive in the wilderness, but it is funny as fuck.
Yeah.
For instance, he shows him a Sports Illustrated magazine to teach him about emotions, and the dead body gets a boner that can point them in directions that they need to go.
Yeah, like he throughout the movie he discovers more and more things that he can do with Manny's body. Like he's the Swiss Army Man.
Right.
They call him they never say Swiss Army Man in the movie. They call him the multi-purpose tool guy.
Yeah. And he very much is.
Yeah, like every part of his body can do something. To help with survival.
Yeah.
So yeah, his penis is a compass.
It's always funny too. Like it's a very serious scene whenever they're figuring out how to use the ability, but then it snap cuts into like just a funny use of the ability.
Yeah, there's a lot of montages.
Love
this
the
movie.
montages. The montages are my favorite parts.
Montages are really good because it's just showing them like
discover his powers.
Yeah, discover his powers, how he, the unique ways he uses it, and they end up just creating all these props. And
yeah, Hank has a skill.
Hank is very creative. He's very crafty. They end up creating all these props, like this fake tavern, fake village. They get like an old abandoned car working again. Or I guess we should explain like he makes everything out of trash. And they explain like in the beginning of when Manny is alive, what trash is and how it's just like useful and broken and dirty.
Yeah.
But all the things that they create is from the trash that's discarded from other people.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like a kind of good theme there, where like you can like no one's useless and dirty and old.
Yeah. Because I mean, it also calls into the characters. Like Hank feels that way about himself.
Yeah.
And
it's very much a metaphor on like Hank's life.
Yeah.
And him trying to live out all the things he wished he would have done when he had a normal life. But trying to teach Manny that stuff, like to be like that.
It's a very silly movie, but with some very heavy real life things. And they blend it so well. Yeah,
because there's, themes of suicide, themes of depression.
Oh, definitely.
Of I guess, loss and grief and how that can affect people.
Yeah.
Losing the ones you love, but it's really about
all the while there's boners that are compasses, and he shaves Hank shaves his face with Manny's teeth to like clean up his grizzly beard, and
uses his hand to like start a fire like Flint. It's ridiculous but very serious and artsy at the same time. Like it dares you to take the movie seriously, even though everything
the craziest shit going on is happening.
Yeah, because they also touch upon that of how like he explains to Manny at one point what weird is. Weird is like what people don't want you doing because you're the only one who does it.
Yeah,
and Manny believes that if I just start doing the
then
things,
you're not the only one.
Then you're not the only one, so it doesn't
weird.
make you weird.
Yeah,
and so like
it's really touching.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like. Yeah, daring you to like this movie, even though it's probably going to be one of the weirdest movies you've ever seen.
Yeah. So the whole movie, well, I don't know. This is how I'm going to say it. Definitely spoilers on this movie. But like, since I'd already seen the movie, I remember thinking the phone. So a lot of the idea is there's this phone, and they're trying to re-spark Manny's memory by using the like pictures from the phone and things from the phone to like snap his memory.
Yeah.
I thought we always knew it was Hank's phone, though. Did we as the viewers know that?
The audience, we as the viewers knew that it was
the
Hank's
whole time.
phone.
I couldn't remember if that was like a mystery, like the first time I watched it. But I was like, I'm almost certain I know that that's not Manny's phone.
It shows that he's had it in his pocket before,
okay.
But he just, I forget why, but for some reason he tells Manny it's his phone.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And it goes into like, Paul Dano's teaching Manny all these things about life, but he really doesn't know how to live life himself.
Yeah.
Like he understands it, but he never actually takes any of his own advice that he gives Manny.
It's like a metaphor for being a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how to talk to women and having courage to, go out and do things that you want and not being scared of what other people think of you, even if they think you're weird. But yeah, Hank just has very low self-confidence, even though he is very skilled and talented and knows a lot about life. But
but is a little bit like he's a little bit of a freak.
He's a little bit of a weirdo.
He's definitely like, you like him, but once you learn more things throughout the movie, you're like, oh, this guy's a freak.
Yeah.
So he has a phone that has a girl as the background that you're assuming is his girlfriend somewhere in the past, and
Which it's someone famous. It's
Ramona
Flowers.
Mary Elizabeth
Mary Elizabeth Ratchet.
Yeah,
Ramona Flowers.
Obi-Wan
from-
Kenobi's wife in real life.
Really?
Yeah, she's married to Ewan McGregor.
I had no idea.
Yep. So she's the girl, but Paul Dano dresses up like her because he's trying to convince Manny this is his girl or this is his wife or
Yeah,
something.
they have like a weird moment where
Super weird. It's
Yeah.
also weird.
they're like trying to live out what Manny thinks is his fantasy, even though it's actually Hank's fantasy. And Hank, creates a whole fake village and fake bus and everything to like mimic the moments that he sees Sarah, I think her name is, Mary Elizabeth Winstead's
I think that is
character.
correct.
But Hank plays Sarah, and Manny steps in for Hank, even though he's not aware that he's playing Hank's role. He thinks he's playing his life's role because he thinks that the phone is his. Mm-hmm. Very weird. But they get into it. They get in fully into the role play of like Manny is living out this romantic fantasy with Hank dressed as Sarah, but they both act like he's Sarah at times.
Yeah. It's a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
To the point that you're not really sure if they're in love.
Yeah.
Because there is like, they kiss at one point.
They almost kiss at one point.
They almost kiss at one point.
They lean in.
They
get drunk off of some vodka that they found, which someone just discarded like nearly a whole bottle of vodka.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah.
I like to think it like just kind of came in with the current, you know what I mean? With the rest of the shit.
Yeah. It gets very weird. Well, it is very weird throughout the whole thing. But yeah, it's really just about, like, I would say the main theme of the movie is about life. Yeah. Like, it's teaching Manny how to live. The more Manny learns about life and as they, try and bring back his memories, he seemingly becomes more alive. Yeah. Like, he gains more abilities.
Literally, the whole movie they're dragging, like, he's like, it's like Weekend at Bernie's situation with his body where they're just
Hank has to carry him everywhere.
Yeah, when he's eating, he has a thing to, like, move his hand and move his mouth. But by the end, when they get attacked by a bear and, like, Manny finds the ability to just move on his own. He literally is carrying Hank out of the woods by the end of the movie.
By the very end of the movie, the roles are reversed where he's carrying Hank. Yeah. And Manny's alive, where he's essentially a zombie. Mm-hmm. Like but he's almost alive again. Like, he has a slight heartbeat. He has emotions and thoughts, but it all slowly comes back to him. Yeah. And they don't explain how this is happening. I mean, it's a nonsensical movie, so you're not supposed to think about why it's happening. Yeah. You could go with the theory, which I thought about this, which they probably put that in there to make you think, but I like to think that it was real. But the theory that, like, he's dead and that, like, when he hung himself the first time, that was actually successful. Yeah. And that, like, the rest of this was just like a fantasy his death brain was playing out. Sure.
I don't think so.
I don't think it was.
I think the way the movie ends, it's very, like, so the movie ends in a way where, like, they get out of the woods, they end up, Manny has walked them to Sarah's backyard.
Yeah, coincidentally, they've been very close to Sarah this whole time. Yeah, she lives close by. Yep. You find out they've actually been not very far away from civilization this entire time. Maybe a mile. Like, it didn't take much walking to actually get there. Mm-hmm. But they've been having so much fun in the woods that, like, Hank gets to the point where he doesn't even really want to go back to civilization.
Yeah, he's like, let's do this. Let's just hang out like this in the woods forever.
Yeah, because they talk about how, like, they have all this fun, like, farting and laughing and dancing and doing just whatever they want. And if they go back into society, they can't do all the things that they want because they'll be weird. Yeah. And with all the tools that all the abilities that he eventually gets, they're doing pretty well surviving out there. Mm-hmm. Like, he can shower and
they shoot animals graphically, and make meals. Like, by the end they're surviving very nicely.
They literally don't need to go back to civilization,
but they do.
And
they end up in the backyard, and you see that this woman. You find out just before this that, like, not only is this woman not Hank's girlfriend, she's got a husband and a kid and a whole life.
Doesn't even know Hank.
Hank's a freak that just has her as his background on his phone.
He basically not stalked her, but took pictures of her without her consent in public on the bus. Yeah. And uses it as his background photo. Yeah. I think he took multiple pictures because when the police officer showed
why am I all over this phone? She's something like that. Yeah. She says, and everybody's freaked out.
So he's a freak.
They should be.
Yeah, because this dead body and this guy who looks like he's been through hell just showed up in the backyard talking nonsense. But from the whole movie up to this point, we learn about how we shouldn't feel weird and how we should do the things that we enjoy and not care about other people. And that's like Hank's character arc, where he finally accepts like being confident with himself.
So confident that, well, because at this point, Manny's body is now just dead. Like once other people are around, Manny is just now a dead body again. So you start to almost think like, has he just been a dead body this whole time then?
Right.
And that's when the movie starts to kind of play with you.
You're aware Hank is crazy.
Yeah.
In a little bit, at least.
Yeah.
But we don't know how crazy.
Yeah.
How real is all this?
But they're trying to take the body away. Hank's dad shows up because they think their names are different. Hank tells them that he's Manny and the dead body's Hank because they have his cell phone and it's fucking weird. But finally he's like, no, I'm going to get my friend. I'm the freak. That's my phone. I'm sorry, Dad. And he steals Manny's body from because there's all these news people, there's all these cops, there's all these people, and they just jump into the woods and it's just like all these people chasing Hank.
Yeah, he slides down the hill and runs back towards the ocean where they started off.
All while being chased by Sarah and her husband with their kid.
Yeah, because their kid runs after
the
them.
Cops are following, and also Hank's dad. So a lot of people are following as we're seeing like, oh man, maybe Hank has been losing it the whole time, and this is just a crazy ending scene of him like trying to bring life to this dead body as his family and all these strangers are like, what the fuck is going on? This is they find all of their creations that they made, and honestly, it looks like a very serial killer type of scene when they find all their shit.
Like from the outside perspective, like we have spent time with them, so we know the context behind this. But Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Sarah, sees like the bus scene and sees like her wig and everything that they used to like recreate her, and she's like, "What the fuck? Like, am I going to be murdered?" Pretty much. But yeah, he gets to the ocean with Manny. Manny's still a dead body, and he finally just fully accepts, Hank finally fully accepts, I'm weird, and I'm going to show them.
Yeah.
And so what does he do?
Well, first, he like gets the body to the water and is trying to like get him to wake up.
And still not working.
And like everybody shows up. They're all freaked out. He's getting handcuffs put on Hank.
He just stole a dead body.
They're taking him away. Like the dad's there. He's just so disappointed in his son. It's a really sad kind of ending scene because you're like, oh fuck, this is all going.
End like that.
You really do think it's about to end like that. And they mention
how they're just gonna put Manny in an unmarked grave because no one's gonna come claim his body. And
Hank does Hank farts at one point because he finally, that's how he accepts that he's weird. He farts in front of all these people.
Yeah, and
everybody's like, they're already freaked out, so they're just like, what the fuck, dude?
This is the weirdest shit.
So then they start walking away, and there's more farting, and everybody's like, knock it off, man. And then like everybody starts to realize it's Manny. He's the farting body, and he's starting kind of like he did at the beginning of the movie. And everybody turns. You start to see everybody like, it's weird because they're all the serious characters now in this very weird situation, but they're all accepting that this is like, oh, this is everything he just said is real.
I loved every time they showed the reactions of these people because they all had slightly different reactions to it, but it was all very serious.
Very serious. So serious. Like the dad is just disgruntled about the whole thing the whole time. All you know about this dad through the movie is him and his son have a very odd relationship.
Yeah,
he calls
not
him
very close.
He calls him, and I'm not gonna edit this, but like he calls him a retard. Like his dad calls him that. It affects him, and there's this very serious dad. There's two little moments though when the body's farting where he starts to smile, and it's just like that's so fucking fun. It's just as funny the second time.
Yeah, I remember that was one of your favorite parts the first time
when that dad smiled, because then the dead body like does shoot off into the ocean and is farting, and the dad just full blown smiles at that, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? And even Sarah the closing line is like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
as everybody
so confused.
The camera guy slowly brings his camera. Like it's such a serious scene, but it's funny as fuck. The camera guy looked
like he was seeing Jurassic Park, like the Brontosaurus.
Dude, there's a lot of Jurassic Park references in this movie, and I fucking love it. Because Manny doesn't know if he's seen Jurassic Park, but he has like things about Jurassic Park.
He has the memory of the songs.
He sings the songs, and then at one point later in the movie, Hank is dressed up as Sarah, and he's like, I think I'm remembering the name. It's Laura Dern. It's like, I love all these little Jurassic Park. He does know Jurassic Park. He has to. And I wish they would have leaned like a little, like a few more jokes. Like there's enough of them, but I would have taken more.
Yeah, the jokes were fantastic. It makes you fully accept the weirdness and just sit with it.
Right away. It's like, this is the kind of movie you're in for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just want to watch the movie just to see what more weird stuff.
Yeah. And there's a lot of breaks in between the laughs, but when the laughs come, it's always something like you didn't expect to see coming next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it tries to show you that the movie's weird, but that you shouldn't care about that.
Yeah.
'Cause you shouldn't care what other people think is weird.
Yeah.
You should just do what you enjoy.
Great little movie.
Yeah.
And it's not super long. You did say, and I kind of agree with you, there were times where it felt like it was lagging a bit.
Yeah.
Certainly at the beginning, before Manny starts having the ability to talk. But there are some scenes even after that where it's just like a little long here. We could have clipped this out.
Yeah, it's like the beginning. It kind of lags, and then like the part where they were walking across that like thing that they fall off of, that like little
like
pipe thing. Like
yeah.
It was right after they had a fight over something, and it just kind of lags.
Yeah.
In that part, but the rest of it the pace is paced really well.
Yeah.
And it's not a long movie.
Hour 37, so
Yeah.
with credits, probably an hour 33.
Yeah. So you would enjoy it if you watch it.
All of you shitters.
Yeah.
Watch the movie, even though we just told you all about it.
Just
I think
spoil
I
it.
did say up front you should go watch the movie first before.
Yeah.
Definitely watch it first and then listen to us talk about it. But if not, I think even if you hear us talk about it, it doesn't do it the justice of actually seeing
Oh
it.
yeah, you still have to see it.
The
for
montages
yourself.
are the best parts.
For sure.
And we can't recreate those here.
Yeah. We just gave you a general overview with spoilers. Spoilers don't really matter much in this movie because you're still gonna get weirded out by the scenes.
It's a movie you have to watch. It's a movie you have to watch. You can only explain so much. All right.
Yep. That's the very weird, surprisingly deep Swiss Army Man.
Yeah. And though this all started with Braden lying to me, it's one of the better lies. I'm glad he lied to me.
Yeah.
Whether it was the right thing to do or not, that's up
Whether
to
it
you,
was the
shitters.
morally correct thing to do, we'll throw a poll up.
Yeah. But other than that, I'm glad I've seen it. I'm glad I've seen it twice now. It's a good movie to put a couple years between so you kind of forget it a bit.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to watch it over and over and over and over. It's like Too Many Cooks. It's just one that I see that I'm like, I want to show people this.
Yeah.
Because it's goofy and I want them to experience the goofiness.
Yeah. It probably won't be for everyone,
Yeah.
but that's who the movie's really making fun of, is the people who can't watch that kind of movie.
Yeah, I guess so. If they think it's too weird, fuck you.
Yeah. You're the weird one.
Freak.
You're just holding yourself back from what really makes you happy.
And that's not right. We here at Nerd Shit in the Dark want everyone to be happy. And don't hold yourself back.
No.
Because you only have so much time on this good earth.
I say if it feels good, do it.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah. There's a whole masturbation thing in this movie where they talk about masturbation and Hank doesn't like to masturbate because it reminds him of his mom.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. But, like, you know, they play with that and that's pretty good. There's a nice emotional, like, kind of revelation around that by the end.
They play with every aspect of life.
Yeah.
From trash to fear to sex to love to looking out windows and riding the bus.
Yeah.
Singing songs.
Making it beautiful.
And farting.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of farting.
A lot of farting. And it's like, I don't know, I think it's tasteful fart jokes.
Yeah. When I told Kaylee we were watching this movie again, because I just recently showed her this movie, and she said it was one of the weirdest things we ever saw. Mm-hmm. She's like, "Oh, you guys were watching the movie about farts?"
Yep. Yes, we are.
It's what you could say about it.
Because there's so much more to it than the farts.
But the farts are an integral part.
Definitely. The movie doesn't happen
They're
without
a plot
them.
device.
They're a plot device. He's the Swiss Army Man.
Yeah.
So that's Swiss Army Man, and I'd say that is Nerd Shit in the Dark.
Yeah, even if we spoiled it and this was a movie you're never going to see beforehand, you should still see it.
Check it out. Check it out. And Dr. Horrible. And honestly, anything we talk about on this show, if you haven't experienced it, the whole point of this show is to basically talk about things that you should try.
Yeah, we frankly have fantastic taste.
We do, don't we? Just good stuff. It's rare that we talk about things we don't like.
Yeah.
Well, it's the shit talk segment.
It's the shit
but
talk segment, stuff we don't like.
Usually we stick to the things we like. And even if there's things we don't like about those things we like, we don't really touch on those too much. We're a pretty positive podcast here.
Like I said, yeah, my only criticism with this movie was a few times it was a little slow.
Yeah.
But it's not slow for long.
No.
And it's a short movie, so it's not like it's excruciatingly slow.
Yeah. Honestly, if we combined both of these movies together in one watch, it would have been probably less than 2 hour, 10-minute movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you can knock both of these movies out in the time
For
that
the
it
price
takes.
of one.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice. Well, Braden, this was fun.
Well, Chaz.
Yeah. Brad. Ugh.
Yeah.
This was fun. This was fun. I'm glad we did this.
Yep. I'm glad we did this all in the same night.
All
too.
on the same night, all on the same day. Miranda's birthday.
Yeah.
This is dropping on 4th of July. America's birthday. A lot of good birthdays. We didn't do a whole lot of stuff in between. And I like that.
Yeah.
So, all right, shitters. Well,
Yep.
remember to spread the word on the podcast. You know, that's how we get our name out there.
Yep, follow our
us.
Patreon.
Follow the Patreon. I'm not doing a whole lot with it right now, but I promise I'm going to get to that. Like, subscribe, tell people. I don't know.
Comment.
We
Can
got
you
shirts
comment?
coming. You can probably comment. I'm going to put a poll up.
Rate us 5 stars.
Give us a 5-star rating. Anything less than that, just don't worry about it. Like, if you don't have a nice thing to say, don't say it at all.
That's right.
Um,
The golden rule.
The golden rule.
Is that the golden rule?
I don't know.
Treat others as you want to be treated. Yeah.
And we'd like to be treated with 5 stars. And shitters, I feel like we do treat you like 5 stars. So maybe treat us back with 5 stars. If you have time. I'm not saying you have to.
Yeah. You don't have to.
If you want to. Because remember, Braden loves you.
Don't have to miss work. I do love you.
And I love you guys too. So 5 stars, I mean, spread the word.
Yep.
Get us out there.
We will love you even more if you give us 5 stars.
That's true. Leave a review. If you want us to watch something, check something out, play a game, yada yada. Remember, you can reach us at nerdshittinthedark@gmail.com. And with that, I think that's all I got. So
I think
Braden,
that's all I got.
I guess we better wrap this shit up then. So.
Da 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 in the dark.
Good night, sleep tight, and don't let those shit bugs bite.
I love you.